Let's talk about a concept that's really getting a lot of traction for our industry. While teams are trying to implement the concept of ESM or Enterprise Service Management instead of the traditional ITSM, which is obviously more IT-centric. One of the things that we find that is really important in this scenario is trying to find ways to support good policies through our products. One of the examples I'm going to show you today is more HR-oriented versus just strictly IT-oriented onboarding for a new hire. This is a very basic onboarding workflow that we created with a customer recently that mimics what their process looks like. The nice thing about it from an ESM standpoint is that we're including a couple of different departments in the process. These workflows represent fixed processes and policies where you have buy-in on those processes from different stakeholders and different teams. That's how you get better adoption rates and limit the amount of training that's needed for those teams, which leads to better outcomes when those teams are included from the beginning. So in this instance, you can see a graphical workflow. We start the process by filling out a form. So we'll take a look at that in a moment here. That form then goes off for an internal approval. That way we can double check to make sure all the information was entered correctly. If not, it can be rejected and sent back to the hiring manager. That person can then update a name that was misspelled or something like that. The reason I put that safety net in there is because as soon as that is done and approved, we're going to push those details into our HR system using a web service. So once that's done, we get the paperwork going, create the Active Directory accounts, send off emails and other activities. You can see different departments and handoffs along the way with facilities coming in at the end to get the office configured. So this way we can coordinate the activity of all these different departments into a single ESM scenario for onboarding employees. The nice thing with the workflows is that even for non-technical teams, this is a very, very easy process to learn and follow along with. Something that can be drawn up on a whiteboard with all the team members and agreed on from the very beginning. So I'll show you this real quickly here, how we can build this out, and again, just as an example, everybody's onboarding process is a little different. We understand that. So we try to make the process very convenient, creating it on the fly and making it work with the fields and other prerequisites that you might have in your process. So in my environment here, I kept it pretty vanilla. The start form asks HR to submit certain details, first name, last name, start date, a social security number, and that's a great example. HR wants to be able to see the social security information, and they're probably sending it off into other systems, so we need to have that collected early. However, from a privacy standpoint, they don't want that visible to the other departments. That's okay. We can control the visibility of these data points at each stage in the process, so we get a lot of control over what's visible and what's not, who sees it, who doesn't, and so forth. So that's the idea here. We'll fill out this form, provide the technology they need, and there's a lot of different options here. Different field types, drop-down menus, checkboxes, radio buttons, anything you need. Users, files, configuration items from the asset management solution. If you want to integrate with that, as we go back to the design, we can see here that's the start phase. It then goes through and continues to execute the remaining tasks. If there's a sequence of events that your team likes to follow, you can create the processes, approvals, emails, integrations, and forms that get filled out, whatever you need. We offer a variety of options here. I'll show you a quick example. I'll create a new stage. It's not labeled yet, that's okay. We can call it something as we decide what it's going to be, but you can see here it could be a form, it could be an approval, it could be some tasks that we need to have completed before it moves to the next stage, or it may be actions like firing off an email, initiating web service, or even canceling the workflow. There are a lot of different options. We want these teams to work together in a way that's efficient. So let's build something that everyone agrees on. To build a good process, a good policy, and you can implement that process. You implement that policy and execute it through our solution. That's the goal of proper ESM. If you have any scenarios in mind that you'd like to see built out, please book some time with one of our representatives. We'd be glad to work with you to build it out and prove to you that this solution can meet what your teams need. We're always happy to help, share tips, tricks, and other best practices. We can also show you other examples that we've built in the past, or maybe this could be a springboard for some new ideas. Send us your own ideas and your own projects and get started today with InvGate.